2 a.m. in the car playing our favorite song. Turn it up, windows down, we sing along. The summer night has just begun. The moon is bright, let's have some fun. Oh, Mrs. Emily, with you next to me. So alive in tonight, I'm thinking like I don't wanna go. Calling sick in the morning, baby, don't leave.
Good evening, people. Thank you for watching tonight's episode of Simplified Relationships. Jay from JMC, your relationship coach here to simplify your relationship struggles each and every day. Thank you very much for joining. Welcome to the final episode for 2020, because I'll be taking a break next weekend and will not be here in my normal base. I am still in my normal base. I decided to spice things up because this is where I originally planned to do this show, was on the couch. I wanted it to be a little bit more casual, and I wanted to be a little bit more raw, and thought, you know what? Gonna do it tonight. We're gonna go a little raw. We are going to cover this year. We're going to cover what I planned for this year and what I plan for next year. Yes, a little bit about me. Because a lot of people have asked over the last couple of months, what is the idea of this show? What am I trying to do, and what am I trying to do by having, a couple of, shows, and what I'm doing, because some of it looks good, some of it's a little raw. And I thought, let's explain, because I want you guys to be a little bit part of it first. But as always, I should introduce myself. There I am. There is my name. There we go. You know who I am. We'll get rid of that any second now. There we go. And who have we got in the house tonight? Carl, love you. Okay, what's going on? I've pressed the wrong button. Sorry, just let's get the countdown is on. This is going to be epic. Thank you, man. Thank you. I don't have all my monitors. I only have one screen, so everything looks really small. So I appreciate you joining in. Yes. Wow, here it is. Thank you very much, bro. Miss Sandy, hey, girlfriend, how you doing? Good to have you here. Thank you very much for tuning in. And to each and every one of you that are tuning in tonight and also watching the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the YouTube the subscribe button, and also the notification bell. So when the new episodes start up in January 2000, I haven't got a set date yet, I will be back, and we will have bigger, brighter things. So, as I was saying, this year was an interesting year. A very close love of mine was just talking to me before the show, and she said to me, what were you thinking when you first started 2020, when the night kicked over and it turned midnight, 2019 to 2020? I believe this year was going to be a good. For those who don't know, I had a pretty rough year last year. Wasn't great health-wise, wasn't great. My own relationship, yes. Relationship after 7 years ended. Put that out there. There you go. Relationship coach who's single. Put it this way, that relationship lasted double the time of my longest relationship, and that was because of things that I had changed and done things and so forth. But doesn't mean it was always perfect, but it was way better than it has been in the past. When I started this year, midnight ticked over. I was at Crown Casino in Melbourne with 10 extremely good friends of mine that I had worked with at a role a few years earlier. And we all got together and said, let's catch up and have some dinner and so forth. Every one of us turned up. Everyone stayed for dinner and everyone went up to the bar upstairs afterwards, and we watched a cover band play some 80s and 90s hits and 2000s. We rocked out until midnight, and then we all stood by the window and watched the fireworks appear over Melbourne City, which was a spectacular day, spectacular night. And it was great. We all had plans of 2020 being fantastic, new relationships, new achievements, take our businesses and everything else to be a lot bigger and better than it has been, and in a lot bigger achievements. Then as the year started, we were doing whatever we were all doing, and then we started with a few fireworks, a few fires that were going around Australia. And there was a lot of areas when we were outside that were quite smoggy, and we were starting to wear face masks because it was pretty filthy and hard to breathe in some areas. So who would have thought that was going to set up the year for what it was going to be? Now, a lot of people have said to me, did you plan to do this show at the start of the year? No. The reason I became a relationship coach, just to go back a little bit, was back in 2007, was because I sucked at relationships. And the reason being why I sucked at relationships is I went through a lot of them. And the one common denominator through those relationships was me. Not perfect right now, far from it. But I am a lot better than I was last year. I was a lot better than I was 5 years ago. I was a lot better than I was 15 years ago. And that's all you can do, is just learn from your mistakes, learn what works, what doesn't work, and give your all to what you want to do. Relationships are not an easy thing. And people have said to me, why'd you get into relationships if you sucked at it? It was because I knew the one thing, and the work I did on myself when I first studied coaching and so forth was the one common denominator was me. And to achieve what I needed to achieve, I had to do the work on me. I was finding relationships with broken people, I guess, and helping them fix them, and then letting them fly away, and then going, okay, I let that one go, and I let that one go, and let that one go, and that one. Okay, that's me. That's right. And I was a commitment phobe. Yes. Didn't think I was worthy of relationships. Didn't think I was worthy of good quality relationships. So I was helping people get better relationships and move on from that, which was great. And thanks, Carl. Thank you very much. Appreciate your honesty, brother. You've always been an awesome human. Great advice. Thanks, man. So I was studying coaching, and someone said, you need to pick a niche. You can do life coaching or you do something else, but you need to pick a niche. You need something. And after working with a couple of coaches myself, my main mentor said to me, what about relationships? And I went, do you know me? And he went, yes. And I know that you've done a lot of work on yourself to get to where you are, and you know what works and doesn't work. And you seem to help a lot of people with their relationships. Even though you might fail, you seem to know what doesn't work, and you do seem to know what is working and what you are practicing as you move forward. So I went, yep, why not? I'll get into that. And I did. But the main reason I did it was not just to get into it and make money, because trust me, it's not a big money-making thing. It was because I didn't want others to make the same. And I will pre-warn now, there will be a bit of language in this because I'm being as raw as I possibly can be. I got into it because I wanted people to not make the same fucked up mistakes as I have made. And I want you to blame yourself. I don't want you to blame your partner, but I want you to be able to learn from them. I want you to take note of what works and doesn't work for you. And if I can offer advice, if I can offer not just advice, but tips, strategies, things that I've learned through the studies I've done and so forth to help you, well, then I'm saving you from stuffing up a relationship that I had done in the past, and I don't want you to do that. Unlike a lot of countries, Australia is when we work on our relationships, a lot of Australians do not like to tell other people they're struggling. You will see on social media that relationships look fantastic. Oh, they're on holidays all the time, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're having a fantastic time, and they're enjoying themselves, and oh, they've got the car and the house and everything else. And my personal experience is the majority of the people that make it look even more fabulous than it really is are lying. Why? For whatever reason they are. It is a perception of what you want things to look like and how you want them to be. And that's what a lot of people do. And when it comes to relationships, a lot of those will not, hey man, we struggled. We had to get this relationship coach, Jayson. You should see him because he's really good. Because they don't want people to know that their relationship was so crap that they needed to go see someone else. So I picked an area that's not an easy thing to deal with, because you're also dealing with not one but two people in a relationship, because it takes at least two to make it work. Am I right? And that's the biggest struggle, because no two people are alike. There are raw, deep down emotions, history, mistakes, struggles, highs, lows, things we have learned from our parents, things we have learned from friends, family, things we have learned from our own past relationships, what work and don't work. And sometimes it's hard to figure out, okay, well, that didn't work last time. I will do it this time and it should work. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes you're too close to a relationship. Maybe you're helping a friend or a family with a relationship and it doesn't work because you're too close to them. You're too emotionally connected to them. Hence why I do what I do, because I'm not emotionally connected to it, and I can ask you the right questions to get you moving forward. Over the years, I did the work on me, and I met some amazing people and had some amazing relationships, including the one that ended last year. And a lot of people knew that didn't end well, and certain things have been said, and I'm not here to deny or answer them, because the people who know me know the truth. It was a fabulous relationship for a while, and some things that are fantastic sometimes come to an end, and they come to an end, and you do what you have to do when it does come to an end. And you move on. You use, which I did, use the tools that I use with my clients each and every day to help them move forward. And I used a lot of that on myself to move forward, to be able to get through, the heartache and the breakup and move forward. And then 2020 took over. And we were like, yes, new year, new beginnings, and so forth. And we will get going from there. Just another comment up there. Dimension 2020, who knew? Hashtag connected. Exactly, Sandy, exactly. So then, as I said, start of the year, we said, okay, and then we had the fires here in Australia, which a lot of people in other countries heard about as well. And yeah, it was a bit impactful because it was affecting a lot of friends and families around Australia. And yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, but we moved forward. And then this thing, COVID-19, kicked in. What the hell's COVID-19? Now, as my love said to me earlier tonight, what was your plans for the year? My plans were to head down, ass up into my business and help as many people with relationships as possible, plus doing the work on myself and learning new strategies and so forth. I was also doing other work for other people because of health reasons last year, I took a break from coaching, and obviously dealing with my own issues and struggles that happened throughout the year, I took on some work somewhere else. And yeah, that kept me a little bit busy and it was good. But at the same time, I had plans to release a breakup program that I've put together that is going to help people. And it will be coming, and it will be happening early next year. So if you know anyone that is struggling through a breakup or has gone through a breakup, and even if it's a year or two, some are 4 or 5 years later and they're still dealing with a breakup, by all means, don't be afraid to let them know, or let me know when it comes, and I'll let you know when it comes out, sort of thing. Thanks, buddy. Always had a great advice. Might just zoom that open a little bit more so I can read that a bit more. Race for me, and it's worked. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I really do. You're a good partner. You're a good husband, father, son. You're a good man. So thank you for that. So we get through the year. Some COVID started to take in, and we got shut down. Now, as I said in a video I did earlier this year, that was a good idea, and it was something we all prayed for when you think about it, because how many times have you found yourself going, friggin' hell, I wish I had time for this. I wish I had time for this, had time for that, to do this, do that, do it. And now everyone had time because everyone was made to stay indoors, stay at home, whatever else. Now, first lockdown was fantastic for me because we say it's a challenging year. Well, it was the first half of the year for me because I had challenges left, right, and center. We all had the challenges going through: the push-up challenge, the sit-up challenge, the no drinking challenge, so this challenge, that challenge. There was so many challenges to raise money. And I had lost, I think I had lost nearly 9 kilos because I did a 30-day push-up challenge, and then towards the end of the 30-day push-up challenge, I started a 31-day sit-up challenge where my young brother River raised over $1,000, $1,050 to be precise, dollars for the prevention of domestic violence, an organization on the Gold Coast. So we raised that. So we're sitting up, and I was doing 7K walks and everything else. We get to the end of all those challenges and a few others that came across. Got to the middle of the year, they started to open things up. And then 6 weeks later, it all shut down again. And then 4 weeks into that, it shut down even deeper and darker. We weren't allowed out at all. Now, how's this to do with relationships? Well, it just sums up what the year has been like, and, you know, it gives you a bit more of an idea of where I'm coming from with these shows. Just before the end of July, I came across an email through someone called Laura Petrucci, who I've followed for about 5 or 6 years. She runs a network, not network, I guess it's a network called Live Streaming Pros from the US, where they help people stream live and become professional by learning to stream live on, like we're doing right now. And I joined this challenge, and the challenge was you had to do a live video every day. And they would give you an exercise to do every day. First day, I had to introduce myself, ask if I came with a warning sign, what that warning sign would be, and say if I was, partner, kids, animals, that sort of stuff. And each day we had a different challenge to achieve. We had a day we had to talk about our business. Another day we had to talk about where we lived. Another day we had to do an embarrassing challenge where we had to do something extremely embarrassing and make us feel it was an uncomfortable day. That's right. We had to feel very uncomfortable. And despite some of you that are watching right now who would argue that I was not uncomfortable doing what I was doing, I was doing it uncomfortably because I was doing it, some people know, right next to a train station with the balcony doors open, really loud and I was putting the weight back on. So it was very tight-fitting gear I was wearing, quite embarrassing. I wore myself out, but it made a lot of people laugh. Cheers. And then we did some other challenges, and one of the biggest challenges who might have started something that's had a major impact on my life was I did a video one night where we had to talk about our why and why we do what we do. And that's when, for an hour and a half, I think 2 hours, I've been reminded it is, I decided to I did a video in regards to, thanks Cash, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. I did a video about why I do relationships and why I'm a coach and why I do all that. And I talked about it, and it was quite deep, and I was quite raw and open about a lot of things that have gone on in my life from when I was younger to where I am now. And I did that and was open, as honest as I've ever been. At the same time, it seemed to relate to a lot of people in that group. And it was called Leader, live every day in the month of August. They also do one in April. Look it up next year if you're interested. April, live streaming pros, Luria Petrucci. And yeah. It was like a personal development course, even though it was never sold as that and it was not supposed to be. But they had changed something in the course that made us be a bit more open. And Luria is very big on being uniquely you, meaning you might be a relationship coach, you might be a life coach, you might be a karate expert, you might be a council officer, you could be absolutely anything. You might be a public speaker, you might be whatever you are. And at the same time, you might think, well, there are so many other people doing exactly what I am, but they're not you. That's why it's uniquely you. Because you might be out there, you might be freaking crazy and losing your mind. You might be calm, you might be in touch with the Lord or whatever your belief system is. You might be, have a unique approach to things. And this course opened me up to a lot of things and brought me back to a grounded area of an understanding of why and what I was doing. By the end of this, I had come across there was 560 of us in this group. Obviously, we didn't get to see. I'm still talking to people these days and say, oh, did you watch this person or watch that person? I went, no, I don't know who you're talking about. They were in it. I went, well, I didn't see them. You're not going to see every 560 people. But the people I came across were some of the most amazing people because it was it was a private group, so no one outside could see the videos. And it was such a private group, but every single person was in there to support. No one went in there to sell or to hard sell or try to recruit people or everyone was there to support and love everyone else. They had feedback. It was always a supportive feedback. It was always about connecting, as Sandy said at the top, hashtag connection. And that's from one of our, we kind of named him our leader, not so leader, Marnie Cohen, MK, if you're there, man, thank you very much. You're a brother from another mother in another country, so you're a great man. And we met some amazing people. Being here in Australia, there was only like 3 people here in Australia. One lived 5 minutes down the road. Paul, if he's watching, love you, brother. Kenny up in Sydney. Not a lot of us from Australia, but they were people that I'd never probably come across. And it's been one of those years because even the work I was doing somewhere else, I'd lost the contract. We had moved to another department. And then some of those work colleagues had left to go work somewhere else. They told me about it. I applied for it. I picked up some work with them, and it's been a phenomenal year. And we've been working remotely there. So we only met those people that we've been working together for the last 5 months about 2 Fridays ago for a couple of drinks and a catch up. And when you rock up to a place and you don't know what anyone looks like because no one puts their camera on, it's funny. But this year for relationships has been a year where we have been pushed out of our comfort zone. Comfort zone hasn't been pushed. It's been absolutely friggin' smashed. It's like Babe Ruth smashing a baseball out of a ballpark. That's what we've had to do. We've been put in positions that we never thought we'd be in. We've had to mix with people we never thought we'd come across. We've had to deal with relationships in a way that we've never dealt with before. By the end of this challenge, we were asked, are we going to live stream or do something later? Some good friends within this group, the Webby Webbs from England, Miss Linda and Marky Mark, said to me, you're going to live? I'm like, yeah. And Linda goes, and I said, well, I'm trying to decide between, I did a show a few years ago called Ask Jay, which you guys know about, which is back on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 7 p.m. Queensland time, and wherever they are, you're converted in your own time. And I said, there was that or this. And she said, why don't you do 2? Go on, you could do it. So I didn't back down. I committed, said, well, do 2. This was one of them, Simplified Relationships. The idea of this show was to discuss all things relationships, relationship strategies, lessons, things we have learnt over our lifetime and through, things that I've learnt through my studies and so forth. And also just getting to be, a bit authentic and a bit raw. Now, if you guys hear anything in the background, it's the aircon. If it is too noisy, please tell me, because I'm hoping it's not going to blow on the microphone where I am. Now, as you can see, it's a different background tonight because of where I'm sitting, because this is where I planned to do the show in the first place. I wanted to be on the couch, have a chat to people, and get to know people. So the plan right now for this show is we'll finish up tonight, but I will be back next year. The idea of the show will be we will be interviewing any of you that have an interesting take on your relationships, any struggles you've had over the years. We've already got some great guests lined up. We've got people that are going to be talking about things they've gone through in their life, where it's gone from, breakups to separation to death to weight loss, things that have happened to you, things you've learned about yourself and relationships around you. Because if you're struggling somewhere with a relationship, it's not just with your partner, but it might be family, friends, parents, siblings, work colleagues, whatever it is, it may involve a lesson that each of you might be interested in hearing. It might involve something which could help you with something you think you're the only one, but you're not. I'm not the only one. You're not the only one. And there are hundreds, if not thousands of people out there going through the same stuff. We always like to think, no. No, this is different. It's different with me because... No. You're not alone. There are other people that are going through, I'll say, very, very, very similar things to you. They're going through that because they're human. We are human beings. That is, humans being human. So we make mistakes. A lot of people go, well, there are some people who are good at not making mistakes. I'll give you a little tip about the way the brain is constructed. We're not even getting to the heart brain or the gut brain. I'm talking about this one up here. The brain was constructed, however you want to say who constructed the brain and constructed us, but the brain was constructed to think quickly, not correctly. So when you're put in a position where you struggle to make quick decisions, that's because, as an example, back in the caveman days, if we're going to use that as a reference, a lion, a caveman or woman is out there picking fruits and looking for food and everything, and all of a sudden around the corner, a lion jumps out. Now, the way it works is there's the fight, flight, or freeze. This was put together through responses of how we work. Now, do you look at the lion and go, hang on, Mr. Lion, hang on a sec. Do I think I can make it over to that tree over there and up that tree and he won't get me? And have I got enough time to run past him because he's over there and make it to that tree over there? Or should I run and climb up on that hill up there and he won't get up on that hill? But I got up the hill, so why couldn't he? Because he's got claws. Do I stand, freeze, and he just comes at me and attacks me and I try to scream at him and he goes? The brain wasn't constructed to sit there and pause everything. It was constructed to run like crazy. That's what we had to do. Because you had to think quickly, not correctly. So when it comes to being in a relationship and things are not going well and someone throws a line at you and you might come out and say, no, you're probably later on thinking, I wish I could suck it back in and spit it out the other side, right? But you can't, because once it's said, it's said. Does it make you an asshole? Maybe. Does it make you an heartless bitch? Maybe. But no. What it does is it makes you human. It makes you someone that has struggled to be who you are, and you're trying to do the best of who you are with what you've got by doing that. And that is the reason why, that we struggle to not, be and say the right things and do the right things. We do that because it's not constructed to think correctly. You have to do the best you can with what you got. And that, my friends, is the reason why we do what we do, say what we do, but we have to learn from what we do. I remember someone coming up to me recently at a barbecue a couple of months ago. They may or may not be watching. And they said to me, they were starting a new role, and they said, I think people have a perception of me as one way. What can I do to make them think I'm not that, but I'm this? And I said, well, what are you? Oh, I'm this, but they think you're that. And I went, yes. And I said, what you probably need to do, I don't know, what you probably need to do, and what has the biggest impact, is less of that, more of this. Not muscle, action. So you might say the wrong thing. And you think, hell shit, why did I say that? I've just dug myself a bigger hole, right? What can I do to fix it? Can I say sorry? I'm sorry. 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 That you could say a million times. And a lot of the times these days, it won't have an impact. The slap across the face, though, sometimes does have an impact, but I'm not suggesting do that either. What I am suggesting by the slap across the face is words mean shit. Action. Action. You doing something and not slapping someone, not that sort of action, but doing something will have more of an impact in your life, in your love affair, your relationships, parents, siblings, partners, kids, work colleagues, careers, actions. Because there are so many people out there. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. I've got the power. I can make it happen. Yeah. Far out. Yeah, I'm the greatest. And there are some people out there that say nothing. And they are doing way more impact and doing more achievements and leaving others for dead, and they're not having to brag about it. Why? Because the louder you yell, the more you're trying to prove something that you have to, because your actions are not stepping up to themselves. Well, that, my friends, is the key to relationships. And when I did this challenge, I could sit there and work with as many people one-on-one with challenges, or I can also do the work of myself, and I can also get on here raw, ready, and spit it out and give all the information that I've got to help each and every one of you. That's why I do what I do. It's a shame that when you work out at a gym, you may, I'm carrying a couple of kilos, I need to go to the gym and work out in the treadmill, and I need to do this, and you get yourself fit and you keep going. The problem with relationships is a lot of people don't do anything with their relationships until the last minute, when it is, should I stay or should I go? That's the sad part about it. Yes, I work with those people. I work with a lot of those people, more than I'd like to. And I'll tell you, it's not always a great place to do it, because you've kind of made your mind up. Why do you leave it to the last minute? Why not go, well, I'm carrying an extra few pounds. I need to do something now before those extra pounds become an extra 200 pounds. And then you've got to go on, go to the extremes of having, all sorts of things to help yourself recover from it. Or you could say, you know what? One day at a time, bit by bit, inch by inch, I'm going to do something to help myself. Whatever that is. It could be weight loss, it could be weight loss surgery, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's no good leaving it to the last minute. We have, as human beings, we need to start to realize our worthiness and realize that we make mistakes. But if we're able to make the mistakes and own them and say we made mistakes, we can do something about it. If we deny we made mistakes and nothing happened and we were the perfect person, you sleep well with that ego at night. Eventually it's going to catch up with you. I'd catch up with you when you're having your funeral at one stage and there's no one turning up to your funeral and you look down and you're like, that's my funeral, right? Where is everyone? That's not a way we want to go, do we? Let me just jump in and go straight to the comments. Yep, once it's said, it's out there. Exactly, Miss Sandy, exactly. You can't suck it back in. It's like a baby. Once it's out there, you can't push the bugger back up in there. You got to deal with it, So you can deny it, but if it's in your arms screaming, shut up, you're telling everyone. Too late. It's out there. It's done. You know what I mean? So, Hals, how are you? Legend, Harley Ball Jr. Look at you. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us, Hals. Love your work. Hope you watch The Mandalorian Friday night. So, people, this year has been a very difficult year. It's been a challenging year, but I want to acknowledge each and every one of you that have been in my life sometime throughout the last 48 years. I want to especially acknowledge those ones that have come in droves, in groups this year, Dimension 2020, a year that you just had some good times and had some friggin' dark times. And I'll admit I had some pretty rough dark times. But the key to that is you fall down, you wake up in the morning, you get your ass back up and you make it happen again. And that's the same with relationships. You might get slapped down in a relationship, metaphorically speaking. No slapping in person. No, I can do that because I'm allowed to slap myself. I wouldn't lay a hand on someone else. I'm not going to slap someone else. Certainly not going to. I'm okay to slap me. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to admit what's happened. You have to be able to look at yourself. And as the great man Michael Jackson said, you want to change the world, you got to take a look at the man in the mirror. And you need to take those steps of what you need to do to make it happen. So don't be afraid. If you want to talk, if you want to put that ego aside and chat about it, that's what I'm here for. That's what these shows are for. This is what I'll be doing now on more and more as 2021 kicks into gear. I will be back. So my question to you is, if you're out there, if you have something you think you could share to other people, I want you. I don't want you. Well, I don't want you. No, I want you to reach out to me. Have a chat. Let's have a chat. And it doesn't have to be. I'm going to be doing these shows like this on the couch, getting down and raw. And we're going to sit and have a chat together. It might be something you learnt over the years. It might be, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. I know a lot of my clients are females, but even hearing the guys talk about what they go through, it gives the women understanding of what their partners may be thinking and going through. And it helps the guys understand what the women are thinking as well. So this show, Simplified Relationships, it's all about simplifying relationships. Because as humans, we seem to go, oh, it's so complicated. We got to make it so complicated that it's got to be this on top of this on top of this on top of this on top of this. It's so freaking hard to... No, it's not. We have to stop It's the old saying, and it's been hard for people to do this year. Oh, I'm so busy being busy. Because they're all finding out that being busy is not working, because now they've got so much time on their hands, they can't use that excuse. Oh, I'm so busy to do. No, you're not, because you haven't been doing a lot, because you've been working from home. Yes. And that, my friends, is the reason why we need to start to open up more and be uniquely us more. Thanks to Larry Petrucci. I'm not stealing it. I'm just promoting it more, I guess, because it was something I learned. There's a couple of you watching right now and on the replay who know exactly what I'm talking about by this. And we need to realize that this year we have lost people this year. We have lost people that we have not been able to say goodbye to because we have not been able to have the numbers allowed to go to funerals. We have lost people who have lost their lives from no fault of their own, and we've lost some people who have taken their own lives because they couldn't cope and decided to deal with it themselves. As I move into 2021, I want people to realize that I'm not perfect, but I'm here to help you, each and every one of you. I don't succeed unless you succeed. If you're having a struggle with a relationship, a conversation, a challenging thing, a little thing, tell you now, the little things that are happening right now in 3 to 5 years are going to be freaking huge things, and they will annoy you 10 times, 100 times more than they're annoying you right now. You might go, oh, it's a cute little thing. But in 5 years, it's not going to be so cute, will it? It happens. I'm just trying to throw a bit of humor in there, getting all serious and stuff. But I thought, why not? So I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you over my 48 years, especially those, as I said, that have come into Dimension 2020 this year. I love you guys just as like brothers and sisters, as like a lot of others that I've had in my life for years. There are people that have left my life and then come back into my life years later. Some of you are on here now, and I thank you very much for still being friends since we were young kids. We try to do our best each and every day, but if we ignore our faults and we don't deal with them and admit them and come to some sort of acceptance, it's hard to do anything about them. If we don't accept them for what they are, then we can't fix them. We can't face them. We can't move forward, and we need to. This year has taught us a lot of things about humankind, human behavior, but also us being humans. If you have loved ones with you, you finish watching this tonight or wherever you are tonight, today, this morning, go and give them a hug. Give them a kiss. Just give them 30 seconds of your time to tell them what they mean to you. Maybe apologize for anything that you may have not said or done or haven't said or done, and say that you're going to do your best to do it and then follow through. Don't just say it. Don't even say what you're going to do. Just say, I apologize and I'm working on it, and then follow through with it. Myself today, an extremely good friend here in Australia, and also my love, who's not here right now in Australia, we had a bit of a Christmas day. We sent each other presents and stuff, and we sat around and we opened up some presents and so forth. And it made me realize how special life is, and that we don't necessarily need to have the 25th of December to make us realize what our friends and family mean to each other. This is one in particular. I'm going to show this guy. Look at him. Look at that photo. He's ringing me right now, and he doesn't realize I'm on a show, and I'm going to answer it. And he doesn't realize I'm on a show right now, so he's live on the show, and hopefully if he's listening, he'll know to give me a call back later. Hey, Alan.
Okay.
There you go. There we go. Everyone say hello to everyone, Alan.
Hello, whoever's out there.
There you go. I'll call you back later, bud. We finish in 20 minutes.
Right.
So I wanted to do that because he's been a brother to me since I was 13. And it's people like that I love to muck around with and I appreciate because they have put up with me for so long. And I've put up with them. But is it a put up or is it a good up? We need to hug those people. We need to tell them how much they mean to us because tomorrow they may not be here. We need to treasure those that have taught us lessons in the past. They might be lessons of who we are and helped us find where we are. Sometimes we get lost and we go to find ourselves, as we say, even though we're right here. We need to find who we are. We need to strip back everything. Doing what I'm doing right now was another thing that was brought to my attention this week is to strip back all the tech and just go raw. Any raw, and I wouldn't be wearing any clothes, but I didn't want to freak you guys out by doing that. So I just thought, well, this is as raw as you're going to get. We've even got a new Christmas shirt. I don't know if you can see that. If you're an Eagles fan, Hotel California, how awesome is that? Christmas present from someone who means a lot to me, who knows me well enough to know what to get. But I want to take this time, I might wrap up soon, to say thank you to each and every one of you that have watched the changes throughout this year, excuse me, in myself, as well as in this show. And I will be reaching out to each and every one of you who, if you do reach out to me and you want to be a part of the show next year, we are just going to sit back, have a chin wag like we are now, have a drink, water, for me anyway. And just talk about those things we've struggled, because there's so many others out there that are struggling with the same thing, that are wanting help and wanting to think they're the only ones there. But you're not. You're so not. Harley, definitely always. I'm going great. Good to hear, girl. Should have mentioned it to you earlier. I put you up earlier there, but thank you very much, Harley. But yes, what are you guys thankful for this year? What have you learnt about this year? What have you got out of it, apart from it was horrendous? Has there been someone you have met or has touched your heart this year you didn't expect or happened? Chuck in the comments before we wrap it up. I'd like to see. Have you had someone come into your life that has left an impact on you this year that you were not expecting, or would have probably never come across that person? Maybe they weren't in the same field of work as you. They may have not been from the same town, same city, same state, same country. Because those are the people that might come into your life for a reason, a season, or life. Because, hey, that's life, isn't it? Really? When we think about it, that's what we hear about. That's what we're here for, is to leave an impact on this world and try and do the best we can at being ourselves. And that's what we're doing right now. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to leave. Well, Harley's jumped in there. I've learned that not everyone is who they initially come across as, no matter how long you've known them. Never a truer statement said. I've learned that not everyone is who they initially come across as, no matter how long you've known them. It's an interesting thing, Hals. I commend you for saying that, my friend, because that is so true. We were having this discussion, was it today or yesterday? That we see someone or something and we perceive it to be a certain way. or those people project themselves as being a certain way or having a certain persona or a certain success or appeal or something like that, when really they're not like that at all. So you have to ask yourself, is it something they said or did that gave you that, or was it your perception of how you thought they were from what you saw or heard or felt, or based on history? I had a conversation with someone yesterday who said they were out somewhere, a very nice bar, and where they work, one of the head people of their business happened to see them and went, oh my God, and now thinks that they're so much higher up the rank of where they are that they're now looking at them a little bit differently, in good light, even though they're so not up there and they don't perceive to be up there. They just like going to this place because it's a really nice, flash, fancy place, and they like to do it as a reward for themselves, and they enjoy it there. And now they have told me that there's probably other people around that they're going to get word that this person hangs out at this place and they must be really well off, and they're not, and they don't perceive to be. But that's what we do. We perceive people and things to be something that they may not be. And we have to ask, is it something they said or do, or is it our perception of them? And if it's our perception of them, what is it that we perceive them to be? What is it they do or say or make us feel that makes us think they are something when they're not? Yes, there's a lot of people out there that bullshit, make it appeal that they have massive successful businesses or hundreds of thousands of clients or hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in each day. And there's so many people out there trying to make it look like there's something. And there are others, like there's a couple of you guys that are on tonight, that give your all to run your business. And you know what? You don't get on there to brag on your social media and everything else. You just show the results through the people you work with succeeding and doing what they're doing. And I take my hat off to you for doing that, because that's what it should be about. You could say, well, this person's really successful, but he's not that one's not as successful as him. And I'm like, well, okay, what makes you say that? Well, he's got this flash car and everything else. I'm like, yeah, but I see this guy online every day, and I see all these clients he's working with, and I see what he achieves, and I see him work with them out in the water, or they're out in their business, or out in the their training camp, or whatever they're working in. And you say this guy's more successful, I would believe this guy over here than that person there, because that person I see put in the yards. I see the success each and every day of his clients achieving, where this guy might have just wrote a book that he paid someone to write for him, and he might have hired a car and a cruise ship and everything else and put it on the back of the book to make him look like something, when he's so not that. Not even remotely like that. Doesn't live in the house you see, doesn't live in the area, no. So when they blatantly lie about that, you're going to go, you know what? I don't trust you a bit. I trust this guy over here because I see his results each and every day on social media and word of mouth. You, on the other hand, I don't know. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope so. Yep. Just about done. 2020. Got to get the water in there. Got to lose some pounds. So 2021 starts off a lot less heavier than 2020. But thank you for each and every one of you tuning in this year. I haven't promoted the shows very much because I've been fine-tuning, as you can tell, changing a few things around here and there and everywhere. And that's just because, I'm still finding the right niche in that. But we've pretty much got it nearly down pat, and you'll see all the new stuff coming through for 2021. But as I said before, if any of you are struggling with anything when it comes to relationships, please reach out. And if you'd like to discuss or share a story of relationships that you may have discovered in your own, or you don't have to, We can hide your face and your name if you want, or if you want to just discuss it about somebody saying it's about somebody else, we can do that. And we can talk about achievements and things you've learned over the years. Please reach out to me, because you guys are going to be the face of Simplified Relationships next year. I'm just going to be the host, but you guys are going to be telling the stories and sharing the love to help everyone else out there that may feel alone or feel like they're going through something that no one else is, when everyone is. Well, not everyone. Most people. Multitudes of people are going through something similar. So thank you very much. Tonight, Harley Ball has won the Comment of the Day Award. Goes to Harley. Thank you very much, Harles. I think that's a great comment to put up there, because you know what? Yeah, it's amazing how people's perception is not always what we perceive them to be is not always true. So, yeah. Thank you again for tuning in. To each and every one of you that tuned in on the replay, put hashtag replay while you're in there. Drop your comments in there. What someone or something that you have learnt about people this year that you weren't quite sure of, that has had an impact on you, good or bad, as Harley has said. Hers is probably not. I suppose you could see that as a good or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But please put that in the comments, because I'd like to know what others have, how they've impacted you in your life this year. I will be back Wednesday night with Ask Jay for one more show of 2020. God, I'm jumping into 2021 already, Dimension 2020. And I just want to say thank you for those who've been here all this year, half this year, because I've only been doing half a year. All of those who've been in my life all this year, come into this year, and all the other years that have been through, thank you. You all rock. You are all legends in your own lunchbox. Love you all. I really do. I would not be here today, right this minute, if it wasn't for each and every one of you. I wouldn't be the person I am without each and every one of you. So thank you very much for that. I didn't speak to you before. Have a wonderful, safe, crazy if you want, festive season, Christmas, whatever you'd like to call it, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. Be kind to others. Tell the people that you care about the most how you feel about them, because you may not get a chance tomorrow. And be good to you. Stop bitch slapping yourself around, all right? Unless you like that, maybe. I don't know. Let's not go there. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. See you Wednesday night if you're around Wednesday. If not, see you in 2021. I will be back. Can't get rid of me that easy. Love you all. Take care.